Hi, John Marshall, the DrillMaster. This critique is more of a well done to Brennan High School. So William J. Brennan High School. Don't know where they're from, but I noticed you, and I just had to give this critique. I think the team did a superb job, honestly. All right, so let's get to it. This is obviously an exhibition drill performance. So one thing I wanted to say though is that so as far as design goes, the uniforms, pretty standard Air Force uniform, which is fine, just fine. It doesn't need to be dressed up. It's the team is using the beret, works well. Love the black ascot though. That's nice. That really works well. What also works well is the black 1903 with the yellow sling. That pops. That really just communicates well. What also really works well is the yellow tape stripe at the very bottom. I think that is an absolute perfect addition. Now, one of the things that I noticed, especially, can you see my, yeah, I guess you can. All right, so there's an angle to this stripe, but there isn't to other stripes. Most of them look to be horizontal. This stripe isn't horizontal. So that stuck out to me. And if it sticks out to me, it just might stick out to a judge. Let's see. Technique here, straight arms, slight angle at the wrist, but there's a big angle right here for this young man. And so that also sticks out. So you're going to want to watch that. Feet are mostly consistent. Cadet here, it looks like feet are a little bit, the toes are a little bit closer together. But anyway, let's get into the routine though. This is really quite impressive. The team is building, has been building for at least a year, probably two. Great technique throughout, consistent, uniform, really like that. On the step off, so look at the difference here. The step off is great. I love I'll call it a sweep step. It looks great. However, there's inconsistencies here, and the first inconsistency that is the bent knee here. We'll just say element leaders here. So of the 3 element leaders, middle element leader, you're bending your knee, you're bringing your foot up, and then look at first element leader. Pointed toe. Actually, it's the horizontal foot. So you've got to decide on what is going to what's going to be your style and how to consistently apply it across the whole. Excuse me, just a moment. Okay, hopefully no more notifications. All right, so anyway, you have to make sure that you're consistently applying the technique throughout the team. And it looks like maybe possibly another bent knee, but second element leader absolutely stuck out before even the pointed toe. So that knee is just it's a killer for the effect that you have there. It really just it takes away the really nice effect that you could generate there. So got to be careful. Well, and then and I'll go back. So then the foot placement as well is is very different. It the bent knee takes away, and then it also makes the foot placement a little different, and so I mean it's just I won't harp on that anymore.
There we go.
So it looked like a bit of
There we go.
yeah, a slight mix-up. Head not in the game necessarily here. Great change of pace that really worked well, except the execution just really fell apart at that point. And it looks honestly, it looks like the center cadet is a last minute replacement, maybe even. Really superb entrance and generating the effect. Now, of course, I'm sure that the rest of the school is, or the rest of the teams are off the side just cheering everybody on, but you're generating effect here by such a strong entrance. The execution is detracting from that strong entrance, but not completely. Not as the movement in is not as is not brought as low as that initial step off. And then again, this is my view completely. So then look at rifle placement here. The angles are are great, but my suggestion. So you have the angle for the commander is vertical. Then you have other. Everybody else is at the same angle there in different positions, and honestly, I would choose different angles because I'd love to see you use the yellow in different ways. So you have different. You start off mid, kind of a mid. Let's say 3 feet off the floor, off the marching surface. Then you go mid, low, and then high, with the rifle angles, which is a nice contrast there. Although I think honestly, if you executed the mid, the low, and even the high, that way some kind of change really might work well. And you could even design something to where you could have if you were angled well enough, you could see angles come together. If you were at, say, the head judge position, the head judge might actually pick up on something like that. So I just, I thought to throw out there. But technique really works well here. So you really need to ensure, though.
And respectfully request permission to utilize your drill area. Sir! Thank you. Sir! Or sir!
Need to ensure. I just want to go back really quickly. There we are. Okay, just want to go back to here. Look at his rifle. You can see that the front of the rifle, the sling part, is turned away slightly. So and same with the it looks like even the second rifle, but here the end rifle right here, it's almost as if he's, and I'm sure he's not, cranking the rifle away. So you need to make sure that you have three front flat slings. They're completely flat to your audience, and then you have one that's turned away in the middle, and then again here at the back it looks like 3 flat slings there, really well positioned so that the audience can see them. but then here it just sticks out, just like that initial leg movement.
Junior ROTC in San Antonio, Texas.
Great job coming back into the block formation. And if you notice here, these aren't necessarily very difficult moves. The simultaneous movement into the ripple, back to simultaneous. It'd be, honestly, it would have even been better to have that while marching. Although you've got some movement here while marching. And again, this isn't overly difficult movement with the rifle. It just takes time to perfect. Now you can see here a type of scatter drill going on into reforming. It just works really well. Military flavor is just dripping from the routine. It's very good. And not difficult rifle work, but it's effective. Execution is really, really good here. So let's go back. I want to... Excellent ripple technique there. And it's a different kind of ripple. Oh, so Commander had a little bit of an issue there. And you know, you have to be careful with problems. Here's a nice beta move there. That's great. So with the sling color, you just have to be very careful of your work. If you don't have the work solid, then nicely done. It can be extremely difficult to keep your spacing when doubled like that. Because you're so used to marching with somebody who is pretty much right next to you. Again, not very complicated work, but the work is consistently executed really well. It's not filler. No, this is excellent performance technique. Really well done. So watch the spacing on the feet, though. Being inconsistent in something like this, where, oh crud, and darn it, a slight technique mishap there. But when you hold a position for an extended period, like you did there, and that's good. You give the audience a time to visually rest, but also anticipate, oh, what's coming next, and you can hear it. Well, of course, you have your own cheering section, and that's cool. I love that. That's fantastic. But you have to be sure that when you're holding a position like that, that everybody is as close to being exactly the same as possible. So marching at port, I'm not a fan. And so you see, you've had rifle work at all kinds of different places here, and now you don't. So you're going back on an old a beginning technique. So you are in the more advanced. So there's, I've gone over this before, low, medium, and high, and you are in an advanced medium technique, actually probably even the lower end of high technique programming as well, with everything leading up to this point. And now you've dropped back down to a low programming ability. Ability? No, not the right word. A low. What you're presenting here is a lower form of programming, where the team marches at port. You can see this in every beginning team, every single one, and even some solos, where the team will march at port for a certain time, get into a certain formation, and then perform, as if they need to set up this formation like you're doing here, then perform, and then move to another formation, and then perform, then etc. And it's just a repetition of that. Almost every single drill team, when they first start out, armed especially, they will do this, where they march and then perform, march and then perform, and they're not performing the entire time. Obviously, you're in front of an audience, you are performing the entire time, but you're not performing visually. You're not communicating with the audience. You've just dropped back down to, we're marching at port. And so that the programming here has completely been cut off and dropped back down to a very basic level, which doesn't work with the rest of the. And then you march into your positions, and then you mark time for an extended period, and so it doesn't really work all that well. So now here, what you're doing, you have two different blocks that you've set up, which is great. I really appreciate it. However, what you've done is you've created two tetrads. The service drill teams, all the service drill teams have a tetrad, except for the silent drill platoon. They have a mini long line that they use instead. So the tetrad is 4 drill team members, and you can also have a commander or not, doesn't matter. But then the 4 drill team members will do exchanges between each other and other rifle movements, either with the center not filled in, or like you have, 2 centers filled in there, 2 5-side of dice, like you have there. A tetrad is supposed to be closer to the audience. What you've done is you've pushed the tetrad way back. So yeah, sure, the audience can see it. There is a certain effect there, but the reason that all of the drill teams pull their tetrad forward of the rest of the team is because it's designed to be smaller and more intimate, really, if you will. Intimate in that you can take a tetrad into an evening, a dinner evening, and for the entertainment, there's the tetrad that comes in, and there's tables right around this, let's say, the dance floor, and the tetrad comes in and performs on the dance floor. They don't do anything wild and crazy and out like a drill team would. They're not going to march around. It's just you come in and you perform right here in your box. Maybe step back in, whatever. But it's designed to be closer to your audience. So I would recommend that you pull both tetrads, or maybe even just one tetrad, closer to your audience. So marching into the long line here, again, you have some more marching at port, marking time at port moments. Well done on the ripple. Fast and smooth. intricate work. And then here, you could be doing something with the rifle. It would really work well. And I would suggest nice movement. That really was visually catching. So instead of the squared off movement here, and then just have it, you can bring the team together a lot more seamlessly than this. This is a technique. Obviously, you've done it here. However, what is the audience watching? Are they watching you to set up to perform, or are you performing as you transition? Slight phasing in the movement, but it's still effective. So the timing change almost worked. I appreciate the intensity that was brought across here. From this point, the intensity really worked well. Although, these smaller movements really don't communicate well so far back. The coming into port with the movement sideways, nice. So some phasing right there as well. Good. Performing out. That's exactly what you need to do. Well done. That was good. I do appreciate that. I really do. I appreciate that performance very much. So, some programming issues in there, but still, boy, what a fantastic job. Nicely performed. Great job, cadets, and whoever the instructors and coach or coaches are. Excellent job. You've really done well there, and I wish you the best of success in the future, and I hope I get to see more performances coming up. So, all right. I hope my words have been helpful. Thank you.